Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the CBL X's and O's podcast for season 2023. I've got Tom O'Connor from the Seymour Blasters joining me again today, and we're sitting down to review what was round 5 in the Northeast Conference, and no more undefeated teams in the men, Tom.
No, absolutely not. It's finally everyone's had a loss. I'm not going to say normality is in the world, Matt, because there's never any normality. But it's those top teams, as we spoke about, now playing each other and really seeing where teams are sitting is what's happening. So absolutely.
Let's start off with the men, and Mansfield welcomes Benalla into their home court, and Eric Miraflores there, 30 points, and obviously caused some troubles for the Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably not a matchup they have for him. Having watched some of Mansfield's games just online, look, Eric's a very crafty. Or is he 41 years of age now? He's been around the leagues for a long time, and he's got the skill set to go and put on a performance. And it's pretty clear in that game that if you take him out, who was the next person to step up for Benalla is how I look at it. It's only a 15-point game, and it's good to see the boy Abe Cox has got the boys just listening to the pod a little bit about defense from the previous weeks and not giving up 100 points. It's now back to 75, so it's a great sign for them.
And you guys welcomed Myrtleford into Seymour, and unfortunately, you guys couldn't defend your home court, going down by 15 points.
Yeah, look, Myrtleford are a young, talented side that they've got. Very tough to match up with. Very quick, can get their feet into the paint, and their offensive rebounding is a very strong point that they brought into this game. Jalen Barker, obviously, there has 22 points. He probably would have had about 15 boards to go with it as well, is the thing. So their offensive rebounding was what really hurt us. And it's not a great result on your home floor, but no credit to Myrtleford. They stuck to a game plan, and a bit of a new look for them has really worked out.
And Wodonga hosted Albury in that cross-border clash, and Lachlan Harvey, shooting 26 points, did all he could for the Wolves, but it just wasn't enough as they went down by 4 points.
Yeah, absolutely. That's we talk about rivalries. That's a big one right there. I'd like to have seen a little bit more out of Thomas Crowe. Only 11 points for him, and probably Cohen Ainsworth as well, getting himself on the score sheet. But yet again, it's the leader of Sam Webb for Albury, just constantly just 15 points a game, 17 points a game, just gets himself into the right spots and gets the buckets.
And then on Sunday, your team, Seymour Blasters, travelled down to Benalla. Well, it wasn't Benalla, it was Shepparton. And you guys were able to knock them off, giving them their first loss for the season.
Yeah, there's a bit of a fire in the belly when we roll up against Benalla. It's a team that we don't want to lose to, and probably on the back end of a doubleheader, you always want to split your weekend. For us to regroup after what was a really tough night before giving up 102, that's it's not our DNA. And to come out and hold the undefeated side, formerly undefeated side, Benalla, to 54 is a huge effort on the back end of a doubleheader, especially with the tough matchup the night before. And Eden Hobbs just showing his athleticism. And the way he's coming along for us is absolutely outstanding. But the real key in that game, we talked defensively, was actually Harry Stones playing on Eric Miraflores and holding Eric to 9 points, and everyone else just chipping in to give that effort. But it was really Harry that generated our team and pushed us going.
And then Myrtleford were able to easily account Wodonga. That's nearly 50-point win there. That's a big win for the Saints.
Yeah, absolutely. It's as I said, they're a quality side, and they've been able to get a little bit of a core starting five together. Be interesting to see for later in the season when they play against some of the other teams as to how they're going to go when they go to their bench a bit more. If there is guys that are in foul trouble or missing games, but credit to Jalen Barker backing up his performance from Saturday night with rolling out with another 28 points. Absolutely huge for them.
Let's have a quick look at the ladder. Now, we've got Benalla still on top, even though they lost their game with a 6-1 record. Closely followed in second is Myrtleford, sitting on that 5-1 record. And then we've got Wallen and Albury rounding out the top four, who are pretty close to each other, 4-1 and a 4-2 record. We then drop to Shepparton in fifth, Seymour sixth, Wodonga, Mansfield, and rounding out is Wangaratta, who have not won a game yet this season. But just looking at the ladder, it's still open game. Tom, you guys are sitting in what's that, sixth, with a 3-3 record with being Seymour, but you guys could still potentially touch that top four. There's every team's only played 5 or 6, other than Benalla, who have played 7. They're probably put themselves into the top four, but any other team could potentially shuffle out, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably the closest the competition's been in a while for those top four spots. You see there's 6 teams that can purely make it. 6 teams, and it's unheard of. And maybe you're buying for 2 spots. I see it as you're buying for probably those second, third, and fourth at this stage. We'll see how the rest of the games pan out.
Let's have a look at the only women's game in the Northeast this weekend. And Albury travelled across to Wodonga, and they walked out of there with a 7-point victory, which is great for the Cougars, and they were able to keep their undefeated record for the season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you look at Wodonga yet again, Matt, and you've got the 2 standouts, Liz Murphy and Jess Freeman, just leading the way. But it's good to see Alira McCowan get herself into that top leader for the Cougars with 23. And I expect that they're going to have many, many more battles in years to come, with both groups being relatively young. And the battle of that border is going to be huge. Probably even bigger for Albury. They did this without Jade McCowan as their leader on the floor. So it's great to see that the others are stepping up and wanting to hold on to that undefeated streak.
That's it. And the only game hasn't adjusted the ladder too much. Albury's still out on top, 4-0. Seymour second, 2-1. Wodonga third, 3-2. Shepparton 1-3, and Wallen still on the bottom without a win. But that ladder, the top 3 potentially can shuffle around a little bit. But I think Shepparton fourth and Wallen fifth is going to be our how it's going to stand for the season, unless Wallen can get that head-to-head back against Shepparton.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. It's probably those top 3 teams having to play each other another time is Seymour and Albury got to play twice at this stage, but Seymour and Wodonga, there's quite a large margin there for head-to-head, and it's going to be huge coming to the end of the season with that side of things as to the who can get a home final. It's huge in CBL. It's absolutely huge to have that home final advantage and try and make a standpoint to get to the grand final. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the games with the women's as well.
That's it. That's our round 5 review of the Northeast Conference, and look forward to jumping on a call later this week, Tom, so that we can preview what will be a big round 6 and a ladder shaping round 6, let's call it, in the Northeast Conference. So stay tuned, and we'll catch you later in the week.